And just so you don't think this is kind of all future-gazing rocket science years in the future, it's happening right now. You know, social colonization is happening. The Facebook Connect, the Google Friend Connect buttons are popping up everywhere. Social context, the idea that you can bring your friends with you, is becoming part of a lot of the infrastructure of the web, news sites especially. Often the best sites to watch in terms of delivering content are starting to dabble with this. They're starting to think, well, hang about, if you have expressed that you like space photography on your Facebook profile, then why don't we take you straight to the science and technology section with pictures, latest pictures from the Hubble telescope, or whatever it might be. iGoogle. Now, for those of you who aren't ready to dabble in social yet, I apologize, this is a bit of a shameless pitch for one of our products, but it's free. iGoogle is a personalized homepage. Now, when you're on Google, this is iGoogle here. And this is actually my home tab that I really use. It's got, you may have guessed, I'm into computer games. So I've got some feeds which take me to the latest computer game reviews. I've got a map. So whenever I'm about to pop out somewhere, if I don't know where I'm going, I can just plug in a postcode and search, and it'll take me to wherever I need to be. Stupid eyes that follow me around, bejeweled for those slow days at the office, and so on. But I've also got a flight section. And I actually do use this from time to time. Now, the Travelocity one is a really good example. I hope there's no one here affiliated with Travelocity, but it's a really good example of a really bad gadget. If you're going from London to New York, for example, one of the most popular trips, or let's say London to Lille, even. When you hit enter, all it's doing is opening a new page. And it's a page on Travelocity, and actually it doesn't even know what you meant by London. And it would have been really nice if it did that on the gadget before it took me through to here. You know, it's not got that much utility. The point of gadgets is they're performing a really useful task. They're actually doing something that you want to see, you know, that you want to have. Booking.com, you know, massive hotel booking website, European-based. They've got a little gadget that shows me discounts that are available and special offers. And it's a bit more interactive. I can click and something will happen within the gadget, which is nice. But it's not until I click on this thing that I know where it is that I'm going. And in this case, it's the ABTOF in Salzburg. And actually, I wanted to go to Lille, so that's not much use. Expedia have gone one step further, although it seems they haven't got any flights which match my requirements. Now, they've only got it in the US at the moment, but I'm told they're about to launch it in Europe. And the idea is that you say, well, let's say I live in, where are we? San Francisco. And I've got a friend who lives in Phoenix, and I want to visit them in April 2010 sometime. I hit save. And what that'll do is come back with a little calculator like this, a little calendar. And I don't know if you can see at the back, but some of these fares are surrounded with a yellow box. And the yellow boxes indicate the cheapest fare available for that particular month. And so rather than me having to go to Expedia every day and do a search and go, right, OK, has it fallen below my price threshold? No, all right, I'll come back and search tomorrow. I have this on my homepage, on my iGoogle page, and I glance at it every day. And whenever it falls below my threshold, whatever that might be, in this case, I don't know, 200 bucks, then I can simply click through. Wow, flatline, 253, 221, OK. But you get the idea. I can keep coming back. I can keep checking this, and I can see at a glance whether or not a deal is available for me. They've got another one down here which just talks about last-minute special offers. I mean, again, it's American, it's in dollars, but they're going to be pushing this across Europe. I had a chat with the travel team in Google. We've got a team of AdWords sales guys who specialize in the travel vertical. And they're telling me that the trend they're seeing this year is more and more people booking holidays at the last minute. You know, rather than booking their summer holiday at the beginning of the year, they're actually going to be leaving it till June or even July to book a holiday in August or September. And this is only going to be happening more and more. So by putting features like this in front of people so that they can see last-minute deals as they come up, you're actually going to be delivering them a really valuable service because you're front and foremost. Remember, this is a Google page. I'd normally come to here because I'm doing a search. You know, cheap flight from London to Lille or whatever. But instead of that, I'm using this content down here. It's intercepting my search experience and actually taking me away from seeing the search results at all by delivering a service I really need. Now, this isn't social, but it's got some applications for social as well, because a lot of the Facebook apps, a lot of the MySpace apps are actually of this size. You know, if you build an application to iGoogle or mobile, you know it's going to work pretty well in those situations too. There's another idea. This is one I've been telling the travel industry about for ages, but no one's really cottoned on. Could be because I'm flogging a dead horse, who knows, but I'm going to tell you guys too. Feel free to ignore it. I think there's a lot to be said for inspiration. You know, picture of the day, something, a beautiful sea, a beautiful hotel, I don't know, whatever it might be. I like kite surfing, so someone doing a cool kite surfing jump. If I can see a different picture every day, and then when I click on that picture, it takes me immediately to a booking form where I can book that holiday, I'm going to be sitting in the office on a miserable, rainy Wednesday afternoon, opening up a browser to do a search for something work-related, and I'm going to see that picture. And I'm going to think, God, I wish I was there. And if I see underneath, be there this weekend for £120, I'm going to find it pretty hard not to click that thing and go, well, do you know what? I can afford a 2-day trip, and I'm worth it. But it doesn't take a lot to build something like this. There's a little bit of code coming up. Don't be too scared. But this is a web page. You have HTML tags at the top and bottom. You have head tags here, which contain things like title. And then you have body tags, which contain the actual content of the page. This is a gadget. You'll see it's very similar. Instead of HTML, you have module. Instead of head, you have module prefs, where things like title go. And then instead of body, you have content. And literally, you can cut and paste a web page into those content tags. And apart from going from web page down to gadget, it will just work. The point is, if you can build a web page, you don't need to learn a new technology. Now, I'm looking at the time, and I've got about 3.5 minutes left, so I'm going to rip through this next section. But this is a map of the web. Imagine that you know, each of these websites is a country that someone lives in. You might have friends, and it's old, you can tell, because Facebook and MySpace are the wrong way around. But imagine that you've got friends who live at MySpace, friends who live in Yahoo, friends who live at Google, friends who live at Facebook, Zhanghua, whatever social network they might be spending time on. You might know people on that website, but you don't necessarily know people on the other website. And actually, different websites have different types of cultures, different types of users. So how do you talk to those different types of users effectively? Well, the simplest way is to add these buttons here. Facebook like, Google Buzz, retweet, and so on. The problem is, where do you start? Which networks do you use? What these buttons let you do, for those of you who don't know, is simply click that and then post it to whatever network you want. Again, going back to the kind of mother baseline, my mum is not going to cut and paste a URL onto her Facebook page or onto her Twitter page. She doesn't even understand the concept of cut and paste most of the time. It frustrates me. I try and show her the shortcut keys, and she just doesn't get it, so I give up. But she's not going to do that. So you need to make this stuff as easy as possible. You need to add buttons like this to your website. But which ones do you add? Well, again, let's look to the newspapers for inspiration. These guys deal with content their entire lives, and they know what they're doing. So we scoot down this article, we read it, very interesting, get to the end. And now I want to share that with a friend. So they've put this share link here. And if I click on more here, you'll see actually they've got over 260 different places that I can add this, that I can share it. Now, how can you guys add this to your website? Well, it's actually really easy. Wherever you see this button, scroll down here onto this add this link, click that. It'll take you to this website. And all you need to do, you say, well, I've got a website. I'd like this button here. I don't want analytics. Get your button. Bosh, done. That's it. Cut and paste that code onto your website. You're finished. You've got a share button. People can now share your content to over 260 websites. And hopefully it took you less than 30 seconds. As for whether or not you can fit it into the design of your page, well, that's another great question too. Here's the ABTOF website. There's a share button squirted in there. See, plenty of room. Or you want it on the top left, you can do that too. The point is, I guarantee, whatever your website, you've got room. You've got 10 by 30 pixels or 10 by 50 pixels white space somewhere to drop this button in. And if you're not starting with something as simple as this button, then you're really missing out, because it is that simple. As you saw from the sign-up form, or maybe I zipped through it too quickly, but no, it's gone now. But there was a, yes, give me analytics. And if you want to take an extra step and sign in, they'll actually record which of your pages are being shared to which networks and give you that information back. So if you find that 90% of your pages are being shared with Facebook users, then you can maybe think about adding that Facebook button separately, because actually that's where your users are coming from. Similarly, if they're from Twitter, then add that Twitter button, because people are going to feel recognition. They're going to see that, the T, and they're going to think, okay, I'm on Twitter, click. But you don't need to spend time, developing for each of these individual websites. You can do it quickly with very, very little effort.